Welcome one and all back to the F1 2017 Career Mode Season 2, the British Grand Prix, my home race for Season 2, and I'm hoping to do better than we did here in Season 1. I can't exactly recall the result off the top of my head, but I remember it not being the best, as it were. Bit of an idiot when it came to recording this one. I recorded, my practice free cams, as you can see right here, and I recorded the race. And I took part in qualifying, but did I record it? No. No, I didn't. It wasn't a good one, in all fairness. We qualified 14th behind one Kimi Räikkönen, so qualifying was a forgetful one, in all fairness, which is upsetting because I felt like the lap was pretty decent. But we're going to stick with a traditional one-stop strategy, but this time we're going to go for the harder tyre to begin with, the medium tyre, and we are going to swap ourselves onto the super softs at the end of the Grand Prix. So this one is a nice abrupt one. We're jumping straight into this race as we have 5 red lights. Lights are out and away we go for my home Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix. We get another pretty mediocre start, not as bad as the one in Austria. Räikkönen did shoot off like a bullet though. We kind of half slide it through turn 1, yellow flag now overtaking, and as such we got 3 illegal overtakes, and then we're just going to send it back down the inside of turn 2, take back those 3 positions of those cars who were not prepared for us to just lunge it through there. That is us up into 11th place off the start just there, and we're now behind both Haas cars. Grosjean, of course, just outside the points, but now's going to be the real test. No one really runs the medium tyre, at least at the start of the Grand Prix around here. It's only really the cars like at the back of the grid. And obviously they're just really fighting each other. We're actually going to try and get into points with this medium tyre. We need to do a hell of a lot of laps on this tyre for us to be able to finish on the super soft. Hamilton already across the line at the end of lap 2. You can see here we're actually closing up quite nicely. It turns out the final sector was an excellent one for us. We were able to take Stowe pretty well compared to the other cars. And us breaking into the Vale chicane, we were confident in there. So now it was all about basically trying to just perfect the rest of the lap, considering our tyre was on the hardest compound. But then by lap 4, the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen was right on our gearbox, 2 compounds softer of tyre, and we didn't really have an answer to him. And I figured instead of wasting time fighting the Ferrari, it was better off just letting him through and see if we can gain any kind of momentum in any kind of slipstream capacity. But as you can see, Räikkönen's just disappearing down the road. By lap 5, he's already passed Grosjean before he's even... We're up to where he passed me on the previous lap. Massa's going to try and have a go down the inside into Woodlands. See what kind of move he can make. Not quite able to get through now. This is Luffield as we go through the inside. There's a Red Bull down here for whatever reason. That's Daniel Ricciardo on the super soft tyre. He's having a nightmare of a start to this race apparently. As we now move on now to the end of lap 5. We're on a personal best lap at the moment, and you can see there that cars are very side by side. That's Räikkönen making a move on another one of the cars in that train. So Räikkönen now up into the points. Whatever car he just passed down to 10th, and Grosjean in 11th. And just look at the slow. It's Magnussen actually, who's been very slow on the brakes, locked himself out. He's put Grosjean right into our firing line. Thankfully, we didn't make any contact with the Haas driver, but that has put him in a position where hopefully, if they continue to slow down, we can try and attack. Going into the later laps, and Magnussen actually pulls over come lap 6. I don't know if he's got some kind of brake problem. I know that was an issue with the Haas cars in the actual 2017 season, but now we've moved up, so now we have inherited back 11th place and Grosjean up to 10th. So now we're actually in DRS of Romain Grosjean. Let's see, we have been brilliant on the brakes into Vale. It's about, can we carry enough speed? Can we keep close enough through Stowe? We didn't take it ideal. And as such, we've now made a big cut because cars started to disappear down the road. You can see now by lap 9, Hamilton's already made his pit stop from super softs onto mediums to run for the end of the Grand Prix. And he has already come out, ahead of us. He had a whole pit stop on us by lap 9. And you can see now he's got 15.5 seconds by lap 14. This was the point of the Grand Prix where everyone around me was making a pit stop. So I just pretty much had to try and go as fast as humanly possible. And you can see by lap 16, the car we started behind on the grid, one Kimi Räikkönen, who of course passed us on lap 4. By lap 16, he's off his super soft tyres, made a pit stop for mediums, and has caught back up to us. So again, Räikkönen just showing how much superior that Ferrari is compared to the McLaren Honda, but we go very deep into Stowe. I was going to try and fight him this time around, but thought better of it. So Raikkonen goes ahead of us there on lap 16. He has got himself right into contention with an absolute beast of an opening stint, because, of course, Hamilton would have started near the front. I believe Bottas would have done as well. So for Raikkonen to be running second at this juncture of the Grand Prix with no pit stops left to make, impressive stuff from him. So now we're going to be looked to coming in. These tyres have felt disgusting for the last couple of laps, but we're now going to be bringing it in and swapping to that super soft tyre to run to the end of the Grand Prix. I always forget that the Silverstone pit lane is 37 miles an hour, and this is a bloody long pit lane. It might even be the longest on the calendar. That's a fact. I might just need to double check there. But you can see, look, it's 15 seconds, 16, 17. It's basically 20 seconds until I'm stationary in my pit box, which a lot of pit lanes, like, that's how long it is, you know. 2.2 by the McLaren boys, super soft tyres on. The group of cars that are in the points have gone past us. There's Grosjean, who, of course, we were behind on the opening stint. You can see there, him running on the mediums on a fresher set has worked out more beneficial for him, as we've now dropped behind Massa, Kvyat, Palmer, Verstappen. We've lost out to a lot of cars this year, as Kvyat just makes one of the braking markers explode as he's out the Grand Prix. He had to pull off right there, apparently. Nowhere else was suitable for him. But we are now on a fresh set of super soft tyres, 1.25 laps of fuel left to burn with Rich Mix, and it's now about getting the pedal to the metal, as it were. On lap 18, Verstappen is trying to pass Jolyon Palmer. I'm surprised by the amount of grip I've got. I turned it in too early for cops, so I had to slow it down. Palmer drops to 10th. We're going to be trying to catch back up to the Renault. Just look at the extra speed that we can carry through Maggots and Beckett's. It was such a satisfying feeling to be able to drive the car in the race that felt like it did in qualifying. But now Rich Mix, DRS open, slipstream. It's the recipe for an overtake as we pull out from behind the Renault of Palmer. That's us up into 10th place. Next car on our hit list is the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, who's going to be a bit more challenging to overtake, as the car and the driver himself just have a lot more pace. Sorry, Jolyon, you're pretty terrible, though. As we move through, as we end at lap 18, on to lap 19, Verstappen has caught Felipe Massa. They're now in the battle for 8th, and we're going to try and get in there and ruin their fun, as we want to overtake them and get into that position. So we bring it in Stowe. Nice tight exit on the curb. Verstappen, maybe unsighted. Massa looks to go defensive. Can we? No. Verstappen parks it in the middle of the road, but you saw the amount we closed up under braking. So that's clearly where we're going to do it, if we're going to do it whatsoever. We set a personal best of a 32.1. That was, of course, with us being unsighted behind those two ahead of us. So here we go. Very next lap, Verstappen is closer to Massa in more dirty air. We're going to try and just carry as much speed as possible through Maggots and Beckett. We've had an excellent runner. We're much closer this time around. DRS wide open again. We might need to have a little look in our mirrors, as Ricciardo's pretty close behind us, but I'm not concerned with that. I'm solely focused on the two cars ahead of me. Look how much we close up under braking into Stowe. We have a bad run, though. We've run it a bit wide. Massa makes a half defensive move. Verstappen sits behind him. We go down the inside. Massa turns in. That was bold of us to try and make that move. Obviously, I wanted to pass Verstappen. I then struggled to get the car slowed down against Felipe Massa, but we somehow managed it. Here's a replay. Saw Massa turning in, and, you know, I tried to get it slowed down as much as I could. Obviously, we didn't overtake him in that move. No damage done to either car, so sorry for that, Felipe. But obviously, then we were able to make the move around the outside of Club. And now it was all about now doing the lap times. Grosjean was 10 seconds ahead of us at the end of lap 22, but then he was 6.5 seconds at the end of lap 22, beginning of lap 23. At the end of lap 23, we crossed the line. Grosjean is 3.1 seconds ahead of us. So Grosjean must be nursing some kind of issue near to the end of the Grand Prix. He's the car I was chasing right at the start. It only makes sense it'd be the car that I chased down to the finish. And Grosjean dropping back from the group ahead. He's in 7th. He's got 0 straight line speed. We've been able to catch up to him quite nicely. I'm not sure what his problem is. He just appears to be very slow at the moment. And we pass him down the inside, up into 7th place at the home Grand Prix. Next car up the road, Nico Hülkenberg, but he has already crossed the line. So that's a little bit too far for my liking. And thankfully, Grosjean has been able to slow down the Red Bulls going through the Vale chicane. But now, unfortunately, it has come to the final lap. Danny Rick has been able to get past Romain Grosjean. Hamilton wins the Grand Prix. That's how far ahead he is. But Ricciardo going to have a little look down the inside. He's on the soft tyre. Of course, that's going to last a little bit better than mine. I've had a poor exit. He's got it through Luffield. Can he get on the power sooner than us? He runs it out wide, but gets the better exit. Superior traction of the Red Bull. Comes across, knocks our front wing. We're going to lose a bit of downforce compared to that. We're on the inside. Better speed into Cop's corner. Can we make it happen? We've got understeer. Ricciardo tries it around the outside. Just didn't have enough there. If we had both tried to keep our footing, both of us would have been well and truly off the racetrack. But Ricciardo sees sense to relent and yield the position. But we've now got an ungodly amount of understeer through Maggots and Beckett's. But we're going to be able to hold it. Ricciardo's only real opportunity is now into Stowe and into the Vale chicane. And he doesn't really appear to be close enough into Stowe. We keep it nice and tight. Have a good exit. Watch our mirrors. Ricciardo has a little look, but nothing serious into Vale. And we're able to bring it home. We started 14th. We're going to finish in 7th place for the British Grand Prix. And it's more points to add on to our tally.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Park Ferme.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
So Lewis Hamilton wins his home Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix. Raikkonen with an absolutely stunning drive to second place. I mean, he still finished 27 seconds behind Hamilton, who was just untouchable all weekend. Then we've got Valtteri Bottas there in third place. Perez getting an excellent result in fourth for Force India. Alonso just finally able to put in a good race performance in fifth. Hulkenberg sixth. Myself in seventh. So double points finish for the McLaren boys. I can be very happy with that. Ricciardo and Verstappen tried the two-stop in the Red Bull. So clearly their tyre wear was a bit excessive. That brought them in 8th and 9th. And Grosjean did manage to hold on to a points-paying position there in 10th. So very interesting shake-up of the race. And yeah, I was just on my own for a long period of it. So yeah, I had to cut a lot of it out. Apologies if it was rather boring. With that, we are third in the Drivers' Championship. Kimi has now moved on to equal points with us. It displays him in second position, however. And Alonso moves up to 9th on 32 points. Sebastian Vettel down to 5th. So we are 5 points ahead of Vettel. And that, of course, like I've said in the previous video and in this one, we are solidified in third position as the McLaren Honda team. So it's all about keeping that advantage to Red Bull, as they're only going to get stronger and stronger as the season goes on. But now, let's take a look at what's going on back in the paddock.
Hey, quick question. How are you here? Are you happy? I mean, obviously, I hope so, but you do have some other options if you're up for a new challenge. Let me just grab the door. I had a call from another team a few weeks ago. And, well, things have moved on since then. These are the offers I've managed to put together for you. You don't have to do anything with them, but let me know what you think.
So as you can see, after some good form, I feel this season, a maiden victory, back-to-back wins, and then solid point-scoring positions at the mid-season review, Emma comes in with the goods and is like, yo, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull want you. And I can't blame them, you know. If I can get the, what's that, the 7th best car on the grid? And if I can get that into scoring, but in fact, we're not even there. Are we we're the 8th. We're the 8th best car. Or 7th. I can't really tell from there. Preview window, too small. And we got that to 2 wins. So, you know, and I'm honoured. I'm flattered. I really am. Like, Mercedes are right up there. Ferrari's the best car. Red Bull would be the bigger challenge of the 3 that have been presented to me. But, I've said it from the start. Say it again. I'm not going to do what I did in 2016 and keep team hopping. I am staying with McLaren Honda, and I will win the Drivers' World Championship with this team. So we'll stay with them. Thank you very much. And even though it doesn't look like we're going to do it in Season 2, I have a funny feeling Season 3 is going to be a big one. But that has been the British Grand Prix. Yeah, very, very short video. I've sort of, I'm at it now. It's just in 15 minutes, and that's included like certain longer bits that normally I might cut out. Not that I was trying to flesh it out, but yeah, there was just periods of that race where nothing was going on. I was just doing laps on my own, and in all fairness, the car wasn't really performing that excellently either. On the medium tyre, it was just very slow. But, like I said, more points in the tally. That's all that matters for us. Consistency is key. And obviously, we're right up there with our 2 wins. We're right up there in the Drivers' Championship. And who obviously knows what kind of upgrades we're going to get as the season goes on. What sort of issues the AI are going to have. Because I have seen it before where, like, one AI has just been really unlucky with retirements. Not saying we're going to win the Drivers' Championship by any stretch of the imagination. But, if we can get, like a top 3, top 5, just mind-blowing. But guys, thank you very much for watching once again. Leave a like if you did enjoy and comment any feedback down below. That'd be very much appreciated. And remember to subscribe and enable them notifications to never miss a video and always be kept up to date with content coming to the channel. I will see you all next time.